got a self-winding Dassault watch. 3 nights sleeping in bed, it stopped for an hour and a half. That's not a good sign. But during the day, it runs fine when I'm moving around.
Well, yeah, you're supposed to wiggle.
Yeah, wiggle, wiggle,
Okay.
I got 2 self-winding watches. They don't need batteries, no electrical parts in them. The other one's a 1952 Benrus. It still runs perfectly.
Wow.
That's an old watch.
How does that work? Like, if it was just still, would it still be able to function?
And for what?
Like, how do they work, the self-winding? You know, like that
The
one?
movement, we move, we do things.
Yeah,
And that, and it's.
There's like a little ball bearing or lever in there that as you move around, it like clicks a little
It keeps winding.
activator,
Yeah.
a winder. And, you know, as you wave your arms about, right, or, you know, just make small motions, it winds the watch up.
yeah, I've got one 15, 20 years ago, but they made it sound like it was new technology.
No, they've been around for ages. The problem is you have those little mechanisms, they just wear out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Dassault's a pretty good watch. In fact, the mechanism in this is similar to, or the same quality as what's inside a Rolex.
Hmm.
The case isn't quite as fancy.
Mhm.
Just time.
Yeah, open up the meeting. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This evening, we have some agenda changes. We're down a selectman. Again, so we're gonna push off any budget warrant article reviews to next Tuesday at the public hearing, like to start the meeting.
Can I make a suggestion? The public
Sure.
hearing is at 7 o'clock.
Okay,
There's nothing to prevent the selectmen coming in here at 5 o'clock and meeting for an hour to
yeah,
maybe make any sort of
Yeah.
additional.
That's a good
things.
point.
I think there's maybe 2 or 3 items that, you know, really concern.
And so we'll probably keep our time at our normal 5, and then if we have to take a break before the public hearing.
Yeah,
then
from,
so
let's
we'll-
say 5, we'll be from 5 to 6:30.
Yeah,
Then the hearing is at 7.
Yeah.
I'll do
Okay.
something like that.
alright,
And quite frankly, the hearing should, an hour.
yeah,
I mean, you're gonna go through the budget, but make sure, we'll also go through the revenue budget too,
Right.
briefly, at least to get it on the record.
Well,
This is where we see our revenues at.
then we have an item or two, which we have to open up our meeting this evening, with non-public session, but we will be coming back into open session after that's done, to go over our administrator's report and any, items that the selectmen want to put on the record. So at this time, I'd like to make a motion to go into non-public, session under 91A3.
They had plus 350 a month car allowance, transportation allowance. Because, yeah, they got a good bit of a commute.
yeah, yeah.
So they were helping pay for the commute, which is taxable,
Got another one.
the whole thing's taxable.
Yeah, Roger just handed me that. I guess these ones were the final ones for December,
Okay.
and then he just finished the ones for January. First week of January.
But you got there, or you signed and stuff.
Yeah.
So I do it,
Yeah, so
do a
go,
couple things real quick.
roll right into your report.
Okay. I found I don't know how I got it, but I found it in a stack of paper. The letter from Al Jenks, resigning as a board member of the Stearns Burton Committee, effective December 31st. And thanking for the opportunity to serve.
Okay.
So we are in need of 2 members for the Stearns Burton Committee. We're now reduced to 1. Good point.
Benty is still on there?
Betty is not on the Stearns Burton Committee.
Oh, I was under the impression.
Betty's a trustee of trust funds.
Okay, he's not Burns. Okay, I was under the impression he was.
What?
I was under the impression he was, my error.
No, you know, it might not be a bad idea. If you want me to, I could poll the other members of the trustees of trust funds and see if one of them, either Bob or Benty, might want to serve on this one.
That-
Because that would eliminate a lot of confusion, because the Stearns Burton Committee once had absolute total authority until trustees of trust funds came along.
Mm,
And then it sort of adds another layer.
Mm.
And it would be good if one member was on both.
little communication, cross
So if you want me,
communication.
I can.
Yeah,
can-
Benty would be
Sound
good.
Yeah.
Bendy would be excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, the Stearns Burton Committee is not
It's not a big deal,
well,
but it's
you
nice.
have to make some decisions, but, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those nice to have
It's
things.
a nice thing. Yeah, it's a good thing.
All right.
And the other thing too is I would like to, we're going to do budgets tonight formally, but the fire chief said she'd like her budget to be smaller, and she emailed out an amount, and I will input that into the budget unless you gentlemen think otherwise.
I concur.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see that email?
I did.
I believe we had discussed it last week.
We did. We
Okay.
agreed, and I think we actually voted on it, or I don't know if we voted or if we just said, or we agreed.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it.
And I have another question.
Mhm.
CDL licenses. You need a CDL license to drive certain types of vehicles.
Mhm.
Does the town pay for the CDL test that the potential operator has to pay for? My understanding is that in the highway department, no. But I have a request from another department to pay for a CDL test, driving test and written test.
If it is a job requirement, I would think that the town would, at the very least, assist, if not pay for it outright.
Actually pay for training of other people.
Yeah, I mean, we pay for police officer certifications and coursework.
Mhm.
I don't know why that wouldn't go cross-department.
So if somebody comes to the highway department and says, I want a job, and they say, well, you need a CDL,
Yeah.
and the highway department would be then obligated to still consider that person and then pay for him to get the CDL training.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way down the line. I know the CDL training, it's a significant expense.
Could be, yeah. I mean, are we talking fire department having to drive one of those rigs?
We're talking the fire department, I didn't know they needed a CDL.
Well, those fire trucks are pretty massive.
No, I understand it, but I didn't know by law that they needed a CDL license.
Yeah.
They need to be trained, but I thought I didn't know the Department of Safety required that somebody operating a fire truck. Do I think they should have one of the skills? Of course.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Maybe we need to talk to Chief Lund about this, as well as Peter.
Yeah.
Just kind of a discussion about it,
Well-
about both training and about paying for the
what I'm
testing.
looking at is somebody in the highway department paying for their own CDL testing and training, while somebody in the fire department
Gets
looking to
a-
get it paid for by the
yeah,
town. That's
I
an
mean-
inconsistency we don't want to have.
where the pay structure is different too, whereas the, you know, the fire department, they just get, you know, a small stipend,
Yeah.
at the end of the year versus, you know, the highway department, they're paid employees.
I mean, you know, I'm kind of thinking, you know, I've seen those late night advertisements for those driving schools for the big rigs, you know,
Yeah, nets and,
and it seems to me those courses last about 2 to 3 months,
yeah,
and they're fairly intensive, you
Well,
know.
I'm not looking at the course, that's a whole nother, that would be a whole nother.
Well,
topic.
that's-
I'm looking
that-
at the test.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at, you know, training too. I mean, we have a number of volunteers. How many of those volunteers actually have the license that's necessary to drive one of those fire trucks? I don't know. I mean, that's why I think we need to talk to the chief. And Peter's guys are in the same boat. They're driving that big dump truck with the wings and stuff.
yeah,
And if they don't have the proper training and licensure, and they get into an accident, we have a liability problem.
yeah,
I know there was some special exclusions for fire departments.
Yeah, but even so,
We don't drug test the fire department, random drug test. We do random drug test the highway department.
yep, and we do not random drug test the police department either,
That's right.
which, I mean, you know, I've always been a believer in random drug testing right across the board. When I was in the military, you know, it seemed like we were peeing in the bottle every other month.
yeah,
So, you know, that's always been a sore point with me, but still, you know, if you're gonna be driving massive equipment or carrying a gun, I mean, they're both dangerous.
yeah,
You know, you don't want somebody impaired doing it.
no,
I'll look further into it.
All right.
Okay?
But if you talk to the chief and find out how many of your people are actually properly licensed, and talk to Peter as well. I know he's back. I talked to him yesterday morning.
Yeah,
So we should kind of get an inventory of the the skills we have.
the new heating system in the building is up and running, and it seems to be working fine.
Yep.
The master panel is in the video room, but it's the kind of thing that probably won't be opened up for years. Ideally, so, yeah, everything's up and running.
okay,
Yep.
And, you know, the people that came here and did the work were outstanding people working around other people that were working, trying to keep the place clean, being friendly, being efficient.
mhm,
They really, I was impressed with it very much.
Okay.
everything seems good,
Yeah.
alright,
We'll see it does, we'll have to see what it does to the bill. Maybe a bad year to compare. With prices going up.
alright. Yeah, I guess we have to find out how much the testing is and how we do the training, if we're gonna do the training in-house or send
What's
people
that?
out for the CDL,
No, here's what triggered it.
yeah,
I got a request for a reimbursement, $20 for the test and $70 for the
Oh.
written test, 20 for the written test, 70 for the road test. And I'm looking at this and then I find out, you know, talking to Roger, okay, well, the highway department, the guys paid it themselves.
Yeah. No, we should be picking up that tab if it's a requirement for them to do their
yeah,
jobs.
like those job tasks, yeah.
We really should be picking up.
Especially if, I thought we were talking thousands.
No, I'm not talking thousands of dollars, but what I'm getting at is that, you know, there's at least one person in the highway department who got a CDL after they got hired, and they had to pay for the thing
Yeah.
themselves in order to advance up.
Yeah,
They had to pay for it.
Yeah.
So,
But if we're gonna do it for one department, we should do it for all
do it for all
departments.
of
I
them.
mean, you know, we should have some uniformity here.
Yeah.
You know, we don't wanna,
You know,
Employ-
like lifeguard testing, they'll go to do some type of advanced test and they can get reimbursed like half after the first year, like they make sure that they get at least 2 seasons of work out of the
Mm.
kids, before, you know, reimbursement split up at any rate. But this is a little bit different, cause I think that's in between $300 and $400.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't a large amount of,
No,
Yeah,
large
but-
amount of money, it's just that there was, when I looked at it, I found an inconsistency, and I just
Yeah,
think that,
but it seems to me that those licenses also have to be renewed every 4 or 5 years.
is it?
I would think so. I mean,
What's
just
that?
like a driver's license.
CDL.
CDL,
no, it is a driver's license.
yeah, but
Yeah,
you usually
it's-
get it renewed
It's
every,
a commercial driver's license, I used to
Yeah,
have
it
one.
must, yeah.
every 4 years, right?
I don't know. I have no
When
idea.
you get your, my ex was a truck driver, but when you get your license renewed, you have the CDL, just like if you have
Yeah,
a motorcycle.
right.
The second
endorsement, just
motorcycle
all
endorsement.
Yeah,
counts.
yeah,
I mean, it's, I used to have a CDL, so.
yeah. But I think they have a little box where you check it and it's an extra fee.
And I know when I had a CDL, there were different types of CDL.
Right,
I could drive different things.
all right.
Yeah, so if you're carrying hazardous or whatever, there's
Yeah.
different levels.
So make a motion to approve, reimbursement for CDL, testing. For the fire department and the DPW,
I'll second that.
actually, pending the successful, like a passing, how would you?
Okay, so it'd be a reimbursement.
Yeah, reimbursement of a passed
If
test.
passed.
Yeah, if passed, yeah.
Yep. I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
to approve CDL testing for fire and DPW pending.
I think it,
CDL testing reimbursement.
no,
Successful.
yeah, motion to approve reimbursement of the fees,
Yeah.
The testing fees.
of the testing fees,
Yeah.
pending successful completion of the test. If they fail, it's on them.
And the only other thing I wanted to mention was, I've been working with the auditors, and my strategy is, as we complete the 2020 audit, we will go right into the 2021 audit, we're not gonna hang around and wait for 6 months. No need to,
Okay,
we're starting, the books we close, they can come back and they can just get ourselves into a timeframe that's reasonable, instead of having everything out of the end of the year.
okay. Good enough.
Makes sense,
Makes sense.
okay.
I know one town that still doesn't have a tax rate.
What are they
'Cause
doing?
nobody balanced the checking account for a year. And you can't do a balance sheet unless you know what your starting balance is and your ending balance the previous year.
Mhm. Now, did you get a chance to print off those things that we discussed earlier over the phone, the warrant, the budget
I have them-
sheets
I
for
have
the
them.
departments?
Yeah, they're unchanged.
Well, the budget sheets are different, right, than the last ones that we got? Cause it should show it, like, it's our closest snapshot of where everything,
Okay,
where all the departments ended.
right now, here's what I got these here,
Yeah.
okay. What we need to do is, if you can leave the books here, okay, is go into the books and get each tab updated, that's what I need to do. And then the front, the total, so that when you turn to a tab, it matches what the total is. We started out with numbers in those tabs. We changed some of them, but we haven't had a chance to change the tabs, because you guys keep taking the books on.
Right, my book is in the other room. I think Jason has his with him.
Mhm.
Sean, do you
Yeah.
have
I'm
your?
gonna keep mine, but you can make all the sheets and I'll put them in there, cause I just wanna make
Okay.
sure I retain all my notes.
Okay, for the ones
Yeah.
that change, we can
Yeah.
make them up.
Yeah, so
We
if,
can see the ones that change.
yeah, if you reach out to Jason and ask him to
Okay.
drop his book off when he gets back from
I'll bring
Virginia.
it next week, I'm sure.
All
Right now-
Well, I'm just saying they can update it for
The
Jason.
last
so-
Yeah, but he likes his notes too.
All right,
The
cool.
last 636 and warrant you got,
Yeah.
okay, are Or the latest,
Okay.
excluding the fire department.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
But they don't include any discussion you had on capital, capital reserve items.
Yeah, I think we postponed that discussion since Jason wasn't here last time.
You might wanna do that at 5 o'clock.
We will do
That's
that.
what we,
And Bob Boyden sent me an email on the scenic roads things, and he's fine with the way the article is written.
saw that, yeah. So as far as like our overall budget, could I get that this evening before you leave, or?
I think what I'm trying to say is you have it.
No, the numbers, like as of today, so that it accounts for like the closeout of last year. Cause what I'm trying to do is get a grasp on what our cash value is, so that when we're setting, our policy for, the fund balance, we have an idea of what that,
Okay, well, you're asking for something, that's not the budget. You're asking, you wanna see a preliminary balance sheet.
well, and the other budgets, cause I wanna see what departments
Yeah,
came
and,
under where,
You wanna see how it ended.
correct.
yeah,
Okay, I thought you were talking about the new budget.
no,
Okay.
no, we want
Yes,
to
okay,
see how everything ended, plus what's in the capital reserve accounts, because that's gonna be particularly important for the highway and
Correct.
fire.
We have a few more adjustments to make before we can print that out. We have to, we have a couple of, at least 3 items that were encumbered.
Yeah,
Okay, so I gotta get that's ready to be input into the system. I need to put that in and a couple of other things, and then I will run that and email it to you.
well, if I could get a run tonight and then have something to compare after the adjustments are made, I would
I can
prefer
bring, I can
that.
bring you a full budget report.
Yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
that'd
You
be,
both want one?
No, I don't need one.
Okay, no, I just wanna make sure I give you what you want,
mhm.
okay, cause I'm thinking in terms of, when you say budget.
No, I'm trying to get a hold of that elusive number, like the number that I thought was fixed and in an account somewhere, but it's not.
He's
like,
trying to
it's
get
like-
the snapshot,
Yeah, I want the snapshot that we talked about,
end of year snapshot
and that's it.
of all the accounts.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's not hard to do.
okay,
You want it in summary form or by department, or do you want it by
the whole thing,
the whole thing?
yeah,
Okay.
the whole
Okay,
packet,
yeah, that's not hard to do. Yeah.
okay. Cause then I'll be able to see, what lines weren't used, and it's information for next year, essentially, for next October, November. That's all.
Oh, no, whatever you want to run, I just want to make sure I run the right
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's it, yeah, just,
Yeah,
the budget.
And I will say
Works.
this, that the end of year snapshot balance sheet's available anytime you really want it. So you could get that next October without, it's just available. Simple as that. Because what you
No.
do, yeah, it is.
I know, this is what it's like, so whenever I speak about things that are months out, it's so easy, but then when it comes to time to get it, it's all of a sudden difficult, and it's something that has
Alright.
not, that's something that hasn't changed, so it's
Yeah,
just,
well,
like,
it-
this is,
well,
so now I'm gonna get,
The end of year balance sheet for the town, 31 December midnight, is fixed. We start brand new 1st of January. So that number, that set of data is always there.
theoretically, unless
Whatever,
it's
it-
adjusted,
It can be run,
It can be run.
it
So-
can be run over and over again, you can go back to that point in time and
Right,
run it.
exactly.
okay,
The thing, the reason you received so much obscuration, whatever it is that Scott didn't know how to do that. He
I don't
didn't,
wanna get too far.
he didn't
into
know,
this,
he didn't know how to run the
I'm kinda
system.
surprised that
to
you're
do-
trying to answer for people that aren't here, and then some of the obscurity has come with like even Jim being here, like, and that's, I don't know, a couple months ago, like I almost, you know, kinda lost it just because something that
Okay,
was
I mean-
hard
I
and
mean-
steadfast turned into
I
this
mean, I've
gray.
run balance sheets forever and
No,
a
I get
day,
it, but
and,
tonight, I'd like the balance sheet.
okay, just
And that's it.
get the paperwork and
Yeah.
we'll leave it
Because
be.
I'm not gonna redo this, like a lot of my time sitting right here is I feel like I play repeater, like
Okay.
over and over again.
That's fine.
So this is something.
I'm just,
That's gonna end this repeater session, and we're gonna
all
move
right,
on.
get the numbers you need.
Yep. Alright, cool. And did you have anything else?
No, but anytime you wanna report off the system,
Alright.
it's not a big deal, just run it.
No, I know, well, we spoke earlier today, and that's what we had talked about, like
Yeah.
getting that report, and,
But I was thinking of a different report.
okay,
I was thinking of this stuff,
Yeah.
alright, well,
okay?
yeah, one part of it is
Well, you
in
use
that,
it- you
one
use
part
it-
of it is in that, like, is one of those packets, yeah,
Where you use the term budget,
yeah,
okay? My mind, when I spoke to you, was thinking ahead of the budget you're working on. I wasn't thinking of the 2021 budget and how it came out.
I've been stuck on trying to figure out the fund balance for 2 years now, and like, I feel like I'm getting close. So if I can get that report, cause I know that we had also spoken about
Okay.
letting you get out of here,
No,
yeah.
we'll get you that report.
Mhm.
End of year balance sheet snapshot.
I
Period.
can't do the balance sheet without closing the books, so I can get you the balance sheet this week, but I can't run it off that system until I actually go through a closure process. And then I can always reopen it back up again, so it's not a big deal, but that would take a little while, but I
But
can't do
tonight,
the-
I can get, like,
Every bloody account that had an expense on it, what happened to it?
perfect, alright,
Yeah,
sounds good, thank you.
sorry for the misunderstanding.
No, it's alright. Every
Okay.
time that number comes up, it turns into a bigger discussion. Did you have your hand up, or no? Alright, Bert, did you have anything that you wanted to discuss while Jim was here?
No,
Okay. Alright, yeah, and I'm good as well. So, I thank you for sticking around and coming in today, cause I know you've been, you know, not
Well,
feeling the strongest.
I can't sit around, you know.
Yeah,
It's just, maybe I have a little less energy than I normally have.
yeah. Alright,
It's not been a good weight loss program, but it does lose weight.
were you
I-
asking
it's-
about my
I-
weight loss program, and all of a
I
sudden
asked
you
you
got like,
about that, I
yeah.
told you you look like you lost some weight.
Yeah, I've since put some back on, which I feel good about, so.
You felt good putting it back on.
Well, yeah, because I was nervous that, like, it wasn't gonna stop coming off. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't know if there's something, like a bigger issue, yeah. So don't let it go too far.
So in my case, my wife took the bottle of hot sauce away, Tabasco sauce.
Oh, yeah?
And told me that the prime rib's staying in the freezer for a little bit longer, and here's a piece of skinless chicken that I just poached for you.
There you go, yeah, that's a healthy.
It wasn't exactly buffalo wings or hot sauce.
All right.
Cool, yeah, so, I don't know, and I don't really have much other to discuss.
I don't have anything further.
Okay. Sue, do you have anything?
Oh, just the minutes to sign.
Yep, we
Signs.
can do that after we adjourn. Alan, did you have anything that you wanted to speak about? Alright, so I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.